Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Outside the Panels. I'm your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and this time, yet again, we are so far outside the panels, there are no panels. I feel like I'm on the Matrix. There is no spoon. I am here to talk to an absolutely fantastic person who's organized a very special con that happens later this month. It's actually on the birthday of my late grandma, so that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm talking about the Wink Creative Conference of Pride Fest. What a mouthful! To help me decipher all that, it is the lovely Regine Sawyer. Regine, sorry. Regine,
Okay.
how's it going?
It's going good, Johnny. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. I hear before the show you told me you're a New Yorker. So does that
Yes.
mean are you a Jets Giants fan?
Oh my God. I'm probably lean more towards the Giants, but if the Jets hit the Super Bowl, I'll root for the Jets.
See, I wouldn't let you stay for Giants, but being a Miami Dolphins fan, yeah, I can't be having anybody rooting for the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah. Aaron Rodgers, sling your hook back to Green Bay. Off you go. Crack on. I'm joking. So, good luck for the season, just not against Miami. Thanks. Okay, Regine,
Yeah.
we need to talk about. Sorry, it's a wild start. I like this sort of thing. We need to talk about your creative conference of Pride Fest, the Wink Creative Conference of Pride Fest, happened on the 29th of June. That's a
Yes.
long title. What? To
Well,
break
you know
it down for us. What?
You know what? You know what? I mean, generally, I just call it Wink Creative. Like across the board, it's
No,
Wink
you
Creative.
say. That's not the email I got. The email I got's like this long. I'm like, what?
Basically, it's Wink Creative.
Okay.
But it is a conference, so tag the conference on the end. And Pride Fest is the theme this year.
Okay, cool.
This year, since we're in June, we want to acknowledge and celebrate Pride, since this is the International Pride Month. And so for Pride Fest, we're going to have artists, writers, pop culture journalists, multimedia creators come and talk to our audiences about what they do, why they do it, how they're taking care of themselves as they do it. So, and in general, that's what Wink Creative is about. It's about supporting professionals in this new post-COVID era. So I'm really excited to have it. This is actually our second Pride Fest. Our first Pride Fest was in 2019.
Cool.
And that went over really well. And so this year we decided, hey, why not have it again, since the show's going to be in June?
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Works very well. In case people live under a rock, there are people who think, what? Pride Fest. Well, it's Pride Month, so this is celebration of everything that's LGBTQ plus A. Did I miss anyone?
Yes.
LGBTQ.
LGBTQIA.
There you go. I put the I in the wrong place. I apologize.
It's okay.
Why is it important to have such representation across the different sort of, I suppose, communities?
Because they exist.
Well,
because they exist. They're alive. They're here on this earth. They have stories that they want to tell and are not represented as often as they should be in the media. And with Wink in general, that's who we are. We celebrate and showcase marginalized creators across the board. Again, because we exist. And it's important to have our stories out in the world because other people live lives similar that we do. And we are the global majority. So it just makes sense. Yes, it just makes sense. It just makes sense to have those stories out in the world for people to see, take in, and digest. And it makes folks who resonate with those communities or who are part of those communities feel good about themselves. And that's really important.
So when we talk about Wink, we talk about Pride Fest, we talk about the creators that are working with some of the books that they put out there. The overall goal is to get their work out, to get their message across. Is the long-term goal to kind of break it the mainstream and kind of, rather than what I sometimes worry about, is that when you have a group of creators that make feel marginalized when they produce work because they're independent books, that's a marginalized industry,
Yes.
So we want the mainstream to see these stories. We want the mainstream to take on board other people's points of views. It's not just all about capes and cows. Yeah. So
Well, I would say what it's about is that our stories are the norm. Meaning that, again, going back to the point of existence, we exist in this world, and it's important to see stories like us, both in the mainstream, in the indies, and also indies exist because these stories are not prevalent in the mainstream. So we want everything to be quote unquote the mainstream. It's like we're here. Like and those stories shouldn't be under rocks or bushes.
No, I agree. I think there's enough rack. I think there's enough rack space for Batman and whatever else you want to read.
Yeah, like there's space for it all, and that is what the message is. It's like there's space for it all.
Agree. Do you think that I say there's plenty of rack space, but I don't work in a store, so there's probably retailers going like, "Machine, there's no rack space, man."
Yeah, I know.
Now we put out 77 books a week. There's no rack space. So do you think that digital comics is kind of a great way to get the message and the books out and the creators out in front of people?
It's a wonderful space because theoretically it's infinite.
Yeah, true.
Like there's no one can ever say you can't put this on the shelf or you can't put this on a rack. The rack is just continuous. So the digital space is a very expansive space. And it's it's an important space to be in. So I definitely think that it already is. Like that's where a lot of marginalized creators are. That's where you can find the wealth of work is in the digital space. As opposed to a physical space, because in that sense, it's hard to put everybody and their mama on shelves at Barnes and Noble or in your local comic book shop. They have to be mindful about who goes where. They have to. There's no choice. It's a physical space, but digital is infinite.
I think for me, I had half an idea there. I think it helps with international readers more than anything. So you kind of got a situation where you might be someone over here in the UK or wherever. It might be, oh wow, this is great, but I can't get over to New York, but they can get the books. That's the last time I'm doing that. My accent is terrible.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I can do British Geordie. I'm really good at that one. What was I going to say? So getting the kind of buy-in internationally is a great way to kind of maintain, and digital is the way to do that for sure.
Yes.
I don't mind chipping in on books from the States from smaller publishers. I do mind having to spend 3 times the cost of the book to get it shipped over here.
Really. And I think a lot of us feel the same way who also buy books from overseas. It just evens the playing field. Digital space has really done that, but I understand a lot of comic book fans, they want to feel that comic in their hand.
That is me
as well. There's something about that paper, the smell, the touch, and there's something about it. So print is definitely not dead in general, but when it comes to comics.
I'm with you on this. I have a friend on a different podcast, and he says that he loves the smell of ink from circa 1981 to 1982. I'm like, dude, you're a moron. but that said, I absolutely agree. I like having a comic book in my hand, flipping through the pages. I much prefer that to swiping and all that sort of stuff. But it's the world we live in. We live in, and it makes books a lot more accessible that wouldn't normally be accessible to me.
Exactly.
So I think you got to kind of I think you got to take your beats when you have them. I'm afraid on that one. But Cool. Unless of course you're going to chip me some tickets to come over, yeah?
Yeah. I wish I could. I wish I could.
When we talk about mainstream, I'm going to diverse a little bit from comic books.
Yeah.
When we talk about mainstream over here in the UK, and I suppose on BBC US over there, there's a certain TV show that's kind of revitalized itself, and they've gone a little bit left field for some people.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Doctor Who.
Of course.
Doctor Who has kind of changed. It was changing from the traditional male role.
Yes.
You had a female doctor. Now you have, I can't pronounce his name. I'm going to say Nagutigawa.
And Shuti.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm awful. My mutant power is to get people's names wrong.
It's wrong.
I'm lucky if I remember mine, never mind anybody else's.
Well, he posted the correct pronunciation actually that his mother gave him because he had been pronouncing his own name wrong.
Right, okay.
And his mother had to correct him. So it's Nshuti.
Nshuti, there you go. How are you taking the new Doctor Who? Are you enjoying the series?
I haven't watched the new season. I've seen trailers and I've seen clips. And I mean, in terms of the discourse, I mean, around Doctor Who and the changes that have been made since the last actress played Doctor Who, I mean, my opinion has always been, I mean, because I feel like this conversation has been continuous with Doctor Who about in terms of like who's the next Doctor Who, and I mean, similar to who's the next James Bond, like who's going to do that role when whatever actor retires or leaves or what have you. I think there's room for growth and expansion, and especially when you're talking about a character like Doctor Who is this Time Lord who reincarnates. He can reincarnate. They can reincarnate into anything or anyone that they want to. So I mean, I can understand folks who are used to seeing the character one way. It's like, well, how or why would they ever choose?
Well, and that's because in real life there's differences. That's how it works.
Well,
not everybody's the same.
Not everybody's the same. And if you have a character that is a Time Lord, essentially timeless, they can choose to be whoever they want to be. And so I think it's important that I don't want to, that folks are open-minded to whatever extent, especially when it comes to these properties that aren't ours. They don't belong to us. And I understand as fans why some of us feel this way, like, well, it should be exactly like this was the precedent, this was the canon. And it's like, well, maybe it was the canon to you.
I must admit,
the creators of the series or the people who are now working on the series.
I get that. You know what? And I'm kind of on, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of on the fence with, I'm a little bit on the fence with this because I get Doctor Who, and I'm happy for Doctor Who to regenerate or bigenerate or whatever it's called nowadays between what the expected norm is to the Jodie Whittaker Doctor to the Ncuti Doctor now. See, I got it right that time. And I'm okay for the tone to change with that as well. Right? I'm okay with James Bond becoming Jane Bond because in my head, the 007 is the code name for the spy,
that's what I thought.
Not necessarily James Bond. Is 007 is his name?
That's what I thought.
If he gets killed, another spy will take his place, and 007 will be someone else. So to me, it doesn't matter if it's. Now I've got some friends who are adamant that Idris Elba should not be a James Bond. I'm like, are you bonkers? The dude's great. He looks great. He's got presence. You know, why would you not? And he said, well, because when the British commanders in the army, back when they started, there's no way that an African American or someone of Caribbean descent would have been able to. I'm like, you're talking rubbish. It's a fictional thing. Anyone can play James Bond. It's that simple. Now, here's where I fall off the wagon a little bit.
No, fine.
Because I think Bruce Wayne's Batman. That's it. Because that's the Batman I've grown up with all my life. So then when people say, well, actually, you can have Batman and it's this guy, or Batman and it's that guy, or Batman and it's that woman, I'm kind of like, well, then if it's a woman, why is it not Batwoman? Like,
Well, I think the things with Batman is interesting because I feel like I understand what you mean because Batman is so intrinsically Bruce.
yeah,
I mean, at some point, I mean, in theory, like if Bruce decided to retire, then he would pass the
yeah,
mantle to somebody.
agreed, absolutely.
Um, um, and so with Batman, it's so, I mean, because I think also because of the story specifically that the reason why Bruce became Batman is because he faced this trauma as a child and it affected his whole life trajectory afterwards. And in his connection to bats and his fear of bats, and that's why he took on Batman. Like again, he can pass on the mantle, but that's why Batman is Bruce Wayne, and I think Batman is actually that's another story I could get into.
Yeah, well, that's a different. Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm with you.
Batman is actually who Bruce is.
Yeah, Batman's a person. Bruce is the mask. I totally get that. I'm with you on this one. It's funny because Miles Morales works as Spider-Man.
Yes.
Sometimes better, well, more times than not,
than
Peter Parker, you know. And I'm kind of like,
I also think that with the way Marvel has trained us, though, is in terms of the multiverse. Even though DC has their own when they have their crises and everything, and we know about their multiverses and so forth. Like Marvel's multiverse is very specific because they continuously introduce you to these other faces and other universes. So it gets you used to the possibility of seeing someone outside of, like, we'll use Peter Parker as an example, as Spider-Man. So so Marvel has kind of trained us in a way. Kind of, because it's a constant. It's a constant. Like, oh, here's our ultimate universe. Here's the 616. Here's this universe, that universe, and these are who, like this who exists in these different universes. So I think that's kind of different too. But I still can. But I can also look at like the actual like hero aspect of it as like that can be a mantle. It doesn't always have to be, but it can be. Like I just said about Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne to me is Batman, but I absolutely can see him passing that mantle on to Dick or to Tim. To Damien, God forbid. Like I can see.
Not Damien fan. Okay, but the complaint. Send the complaint.
I'm not against Damien, but especially if the mantle and the premise is for Batman to be this to be this hero that doesn't kill. Here's his son just waiting to slay everybody. So it'd be it'd be Killer Bat instead of Batman.
Cool. Let's ask some questions about yourself then. So, Regine, how did you get into comic books? What was your first step into the world of comics?
Well, my father used to read the Sunday Funnies to me. And he would read them cover to cover, and I loved it. I enjoyed that. My mother, she was a painter. The paintings behind me are paintings, and she would tell me I would make her make up stories for me at night. And when I got older, she said I would give I would say there are 10 kids in a family, and you'd make me name every child, and I'd have to remember the names of every single child. So I was always so storytelling and art was always a part of me. My brother and I used to watch the original Incredible Hulk and
the Bill Bixby stuff.
Yes. And
You're not that old. You're not old to remember Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, I was like, yes, I'm an 80s child. I was born in the 80s, in the early 80s. I'm an early 80s baby. Okay. We watched The Greatest American Hero. We watched Spider-Man and Friends. I mean, my brother kind of put me on the trajectory of mainstream comics, like the big two. And my father, he would also buy me like Archie comics, Betty and Veronica, Jughead, and I loved those. And then, like I said, my brother introduced me to Marvel and DC, and namely Marvel. When we got the original Nintendo in the house, we got the first X-Men game. Okay. And I fell in love. I'm like, who are these people? So I started collecting the comics pretty early. I think I started my collection when I was 9 years old. And then I started collecting comic book cards. So I have a big comic book card collection.
Wow.
There was a bit of addiction. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, once I discovered comic book shops, because generally when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of comic book shops near me. So I would go to the grocery store and buy comics. And then
7-Eleven.
Yeah, like I would go to 7-Eleven. We had them at Walgreens, Woolworth. So that's where I would get my books. But then my brother introduced me to a comic book shop, and once I realized that they would have like the whole collection of cards, and you could buy them individually, I would stand there with my checklist of all the ones that I didn't have. And I know the store owner's like, this little girl. I say, I need number 182, 177. That was me. So that's where like the love of comics came from, and the collecting. And then the storytelling came in, where I mean I always liked to read and write as a kid. I liked to write little stories and stuff. And in the midst of my comic collecting, I realized like I want to write comics. I want to create my own characters. So I started drawing them, and at one point my mother, she called John Romita Jr. at the Marvel offices.
As you do.
And she called a couple of times, and I think the first time like she spoke to his secretary, she said call back, and then the next time she actually got to speak to him, and he said, and she was like, my daughter, she does these things, and how does she get into this? How she does do this? And he gave her some pointers, and told her about the Marvel process and stuff. So I really appreciate that. That was real. When I think about it, it's really wild. So years pass, and I'm still into comics, but I go to college, and I go to college for something completely outside of writing and art, and that's to become a chef. So I studied to become a chef. Yeah, you'll learn. I'm like a jack of all trades and a master of some. Like, I have a lot of vocations, but culinary is one of them. So while I was in college, though, I was just like, I really still want to do this thing. I'm not sure how to do it. Let me just figure out what I'm doing with this culinary thing, and I'll figure it out from there. But I got into some writing programs while I was in college. So National Book Foundation had a program, and I was learning about writing and editing there. And then after I left, and I also got some scholarships for college through writing stories.
Cool. Well done.
But after I left school, and I became a manager. I became a corporate food manager. And one day I just said, I want to see if I can get a bachelor's in cartooning or something. And I was chatting with one of my friends in a comic book shop, and a man overheard me, and he said, like, well, what do you want to do? What do you do? I was like, oh, well, I write, I edit. And he said, well, maybe you can help me at my company. So he had an independent comic book company, and I was his managing editor for a year. And I taught myself how to edit comics, how to review submissions, how to write comic book scripts. I read every single comic book script book I can find. I found tons of comic book scripts online. I used to transcribe and type his scripts because they were handwritten. Okay. So I learned. I was a lot of trial and error. And I left his company in 2007, and then at the end of 2007, I started Lock It Down Productions. And I published my first comic in 2009. So
wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. And it's never stopped since then. Great.
Yeah, basically it hasn't.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. So when we're going to take a quick break for one of our adverts, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at Wink Creative and get some more information from you for that, as well as looking at some websites. Where shall we go? I don't have a trading card or a comic card advert. The closest I've got, you said the C word earlier. You said crisis. Crisis in the Toyverse. Check it out.
Infinite Crisis.
Oh my God, right? So I read a poll recently about, because I keep calling him a heathen by taking his figures out of the box. It looks like I'm the heathen for keeping my figures in the box. Check it out. Crisis in the Toyverse, where Bobo takes the figures out of the box. I don't know. What's he doing? If he loses the fake hands and heads, it's on him. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's have a look at the flyer. This is your flyer for Flushing Town Hall, June 29th this year, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. That'll be Eastern Standard Time, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do I not get credits for non-Eastern Standard Time? All right, fine.
Okay, you do. Thank you.
I come from a country where there's one time zone. Talking to someone from a country where there's at least 6. Eastern, Central, Pacific, Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Is there only 5? 4? Is there only 4?
I think there's another one because I'm thinking of Hawaii, and Hawaii is not in the same time zone as California.
I'm sure Alaska.
I'm not sure what time they call that. That slips my mind.
So I love this artwork. Whose is this artwork of the poster?
This is Y. Sanders. Y. Sanders is an amazing artist. She's out of New York City. She's been drawing comics and been an illustrator probably for over 15 years, I want to say. And for the past last 3 shows, I think for the past three or 4 shows, she has done artwork for Wing Creative Conference.
This person looks familiar. I wonder where the inspiration for that person was.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. I don't know.
Look at that. Look at that hair. Let's look at your head. Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. It's possible.
All right, excellent. Okay, so the event itself, let's have some news about the event. So it is the Women Comics Collective International, or Wink. You have got so many things going on. You've got creative in comics and gaming. You've got sequential storytelling workshops. You've got writing for comics workshops. You've got metaphysical movement. Ooh. Mm-hmm. You've got tons of stuff going on. How did you manage to cram so much in essentially 7 hours? I mean, that's a lot of time.
It's experience. Is what it is. It really is. I mean, in terms of like the timing and just making sure that nothing bumps into each other, and folks have time to breathe. We also have an artist market as well.
Cool.
So I mean, really, it's just looking at the schedule and seeing like, okay, where does everything fit? Give people time to get in, relax, relax, go and visit the folks in the artist area, and then they have time to go to workshops and go to panel discussions, and then in between that, go back and go to the artist market, buy stuff because I want people to buy lots of stuff. We have amazing artists that are going to be there too, selling their wares.
So which is the most exciting part for you? Is it the kind of organizing element, or is it the day when it's a live breathing organism, and you've kind of got to make sure people know where to go for this and know where for that? And
I feel like I feel like the most exciting time is probably the day of, even though, because at this point I'm so used to it that I'm just like, okay, when is the day over? I just keep moving. No, because everything goes by so very quickly. Once the day starts, once tables are set up and panels and workshops start, everything moves so very quickly. So before I know it, the day is over. And I'm trying to figure out like this. I think we had a good show, like it doesn't hit until later when people tell you like how they felt about the show, if they enjoyed it, if they're looking forward to what we're going to do next year and all that. So like now it's just the putting together of all the things, and most things are put together. It's just about promotion and getting flyers out there and getting purchasing banners and stuff like that.
Get your website sorted. So this is the website. Do I have a link for this? I don't, but it's dead simply. If you type in Women in Comics Collectives, you will find it. Give me 2 seconds. I will put a banner up there for you so you can see it.
You had it up before. It was right on the screen. Yes, it's the exact same one. Yes.
Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's the same. Look at that. All right, so this is a website by which you can have a look. You can RSVP. There's a list there of exhibitors are coming soon. You've got the time and location. Check it out. You've got some information about the event. This is interesting. General admission is free.
Yes.
However, you can donate if you want, right?
Yeah. And then for the VIP admission, we are doing specialty swag bags. Now, for all of our events, we always give out free swag bags. We like to have things that are accessible to everyone. But if you want something super special, the VIP admission is for you. So you'll get a specialty swag bag that has the Wink logo, has the Wink artwork on it, really sturdy. You can use it for grocery shopping. And then there'll be a ton of comic books. There also will be buttons, there'll be stickers. There might be some other surprise items in there as well. So that's what the VIP admission is about.
Fantastic. You also have your main page. Let me bring this up because I have it here. Have it just here because I'm organized. I know it doesn't feel like I am, but I am. There we go. Where are we at? There it is. I like the scheme on this one. This one really rocks. I like this.
And you can move the pictures around.
Oh, excellent.
So it's almost like you have it's like so you can move everything around. It's almost like you have a coffee table with a bunch of magazines on it. Yeah. It's really cool.
Oh, look at that. That's canny. I like that.
Thank you.
I do. I like that. Oh, perfect. So you can have a look through and browse through on that one. Excellent. So you can subscribe to the page, is that right? So you get all your notifications and
stuff.
Yep, cool. Excellent. And of course, it wouldn't be a show. It wouldn't be an internet type thing or digital if you didn't have some social media. So let's have a look. You can follow yourself on Instagram. Check that out. There you go. For those of you who are thinking, oh my God, this is right, lots of writing down. All you got to remember is Wink, so WINC,
exactly,
NYC. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you'll find it from wherever. You can also on Facebook. There you go. And of course, we can't forget Twitter. Yes, it's always Twitter. It's never X.
It is.
So anyone who gives me grief about it's X now, man, you should be calling X. No, sorry.
That's right.
That's how it is. It's how it is. Excellent. So, 29th of June. 10
yes.
When I say it was Flushing Town Hall.
Yes.
Excellent. Give me your best pitch of why I should buy some tickets and come over and see you on June the 24th.
Well, it's a free event. It's a free event. It's be a great place. Well, that's true. That's true. But you're also across the pond. So for anybody who's in the tri-state area, unless you're planning to fly over, it's a free event. It's an event celebrating local artists, folks that you actually may know, or you didn't realize were actually not far away from you. We're having artists such as and writers as Vida Ayala, Chris Kindred. We're having the creators of Power of Priya. We're having some amazing folks who are going to be at this show, who are some of them, as far as I'm concerned, some of the movers and shakers of the comic book industry, and have made it better as far as I'm concerned. Cool. So come through. It'll be a great time. We'll have fun, and maybe I'll do a giveaway or two.
All right, giveaways for those that. All right, okay, fine. Be like that. Keep your giveaways. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, free comics. We're giving away free comics. Everyone will get free comics.
Hey, yes, sold at half the price. The website's there if you want to go and purchase any tickets or RSVP to the event. You've got plenty of time. At the time we're recording, we're recording on the 5th. What's that? 24 days. So practically 3 weeks. At the time we're recording, it's going to be there. You will be able all the links that we're showing you how to purchase the tickets and go to the website will be on the display underneath the pod, so you can go and check that out. You don't have to pause it and make me look like an idiot. That would be cool. Thank you. I know you're pressing pause right now. I can see it. Right? Stop it. All right, okay. Regine, it's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute blast.
Oh,
I wish I was in the tri-state area. I would head over there in a heartbeat. You need to come over to the UK, do Thought Bubble.
One of these days.
Yeah,
maybe MCM. I'll come to MCM Comic Con maybe.
Well, I was at Thought Bubble down at Harrogate last year, and it's like three massive halls.
I heard one of our members. She went. She did a panel for us over there.
And everything's just as you'd expect it. Then you turn around the corner, and the amount of diversity that was on show, it was brilliant. There was things celebrating the whole spectrum of the LGBTQIA plus gauntlet. It was absolutely unbelievable to see so many different aspects of sexuality, gender, diversity represented by so many people, and they did a roaring trade. So I think definitely there is the market there to sort of like continue to promote and show the sort of diversity that exists in comic books that's in real life and move forward from that. So thank you for that. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get yourself over. Mind you, wrap up warm because it's in November. It gets cold in the UK in November time.
I'm going to check into that. I am going to check into that. I would like to come.
Excellent. There you have it. All right. That's the lovely Regine and the Wink Creative Pride Fest, 29th of June, or June 29th, as you Americans like to put it the other way around for some. I don't know. Is it like an FU because you kicked us out? I don't know, but it's fine. It's June. It's 29th. It doesn't matter which way you get around. Just turn up. It's simple as. There you go. Excellent. Regine, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good. It's flowing over though, hasn't it? I've been your host. Don't forget, join Machine Hughes. Don't forget to check out all the favorite shows on UCPN. You saw the trailer for it earlier. Crisis in the Toyverse. And if you like Regine, you like your Marvel stuff, the No Price podcast will be back soon, revamped for possibly the new X-Men run that's starting later this year. And of course, you DC fans, the Definitive Crusade continues its march into everything that is absolute power. There you go. Cool. All that's left for me to say is, Regine, thanks again. Appreciate it. It's that time. Sorry, guys. See you next time. Adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.com, all about comic pop culture.